Hey there, welcome to What's Happening at Effenberger Vineyards. Well, I'm here at Mountain Meadows Mushroom Farm. I love mushrooms, and the reason that I'm here is because I want to check the operation out. You may be saying to yourself, Mike, I thought this whole thing was about winemaking and, your vineyard and your winery and whatnot. Well, it is, because what's standing in back of me is compost. And because we don't use chemical fertilizers, we use compost on the vineyard to feed our vines. So I wanted to find out more about what's going on here. This mushroom compost is very special, and it's something that I'm looking forward to using in the vineyard this year.
What I learned about mushroom farming is that you need to produce two crops, mushrooms and compost. The mushrooms need to grow in compost that is almost sterile. They start with ingredients for the compost with horse bedding from the Del Mar Fairgrounds. From this, they produce two types of compost, a straw-based compost and a wood-based compost. The material is piled up, turned, and allowed to heat up to about 180 degrees 3 times before they use it to grow their shrooms. This makes it absolutely clean with no seeds or fungus pathogens that can make it into their growing rooms. They inoculate the growing media with spores that blossom into these beautiful fungi and are shipped to stores throughout Southern California. Some years producing 6.5 million pounds and 18 different varieties of mushrooms. After the mushrooms are grown, the compost is combined and heated up again, turned and released for growers like me to put to good use.
Check this out, shiitake mushrooms. All right. Wow. Look at that. And there are just tons of them in here. Well, there you have it. Who would have thunk? Want to thank Roberto from Mountain Meadows Mushrooms for giving me the tour, and I look forward to using their compost this year. Well, on our trip to France, we had time to play, and now it's time to pay. This jungle needs to be whacked. Well, here you can see some really nice fruit that's developing on these Merlot vines. Got this pretty much cleared out down here, but on this side of the row, it's a jungle. So I'm gonna have to climb in there and do my thing, and maybe we'll show you how that's done using the old time lapse. So that was one plant. And you see, I have to really get in there to get after these things. That's why I wear this funky Carl the Greenskeeper from Caddyshack hat to keep the bugs and whatever else might, fall down out of those branches and go down my shirt like a spider or something. Ugh. Once we're finished with pruning and deleafing, this is what I like to see. I like to see a wide open canopy here on the shady side of the vines to keep the airflow moving through here to help discourage powdery mildew from forming overnight or during periods of wetness. Well, here's something that's a bit disconcerting. It looks like there might be a little bit of mold starting on this particular bunch of grapes. This is Cabernet Sauvignon. You can see the dark discoloration and a little bit of like white fuzziness. That could be the beginnings of some powdery mildew that we talk about all the time here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use what's called an eradicant. That would be something that eradicates the spores as opposed to a preventative, which many sprays are. And I will probably use a horticultural oil, which is totally organic, and it just smothers the spores and gets rid of all this potential powdery mildew action. This is why it really pays off to make sure you're out in your vineyard on a daily or every other day basis, because if something pops up, you can get on it right away and get to work. Hang on, check this out.
Okay, if my daughter Nikki is watching, you should turn it off. Oh, she's gone? Okay, great. This is a striped racer. This is a cool snake. I'm surprised he's hanging around. They're usually really fast. They eat lizards and small rodents, and they're good snakes. Hey, buddy, what's happening?
Another thing I like to do when I'm out in the vineyard is check my government-issued insect traps. That are these yellow cards here that's got this really sticky substance on them, and the bugs are attracted to it, and if they get in that stuff, there's no way they're going to get out. As you can see, there's some flies and stuff and the remnants of a moth or something here. But right now, this allows me to check on any bugs that might be visiting the vineyard that could potentially harm the vines, and I don't see anything, so we're in good shape right now. Well, that just about covers everything that's been going on in the month of June here at Effenberger Vineyards. Next month is one of our wine club member releases. We release 3 bottles of wine in March, 3 bottles of wine in July, and 3 bottles of wine in November, for a total of 9 bottles throughout the year for our wine club members. And this next release coming up here in a couple weeks is going to be a good one. And here they are, our 2021 Estate Cabernet Sauvignon, 2021 Syrah, and the last few bottles of our 2021 Estate Sagrantino, a gold medal winner. That's it, they're gone. Hey, by the way, we'll have more Sagrantino coming up. Next month, we're going to be doing some labeling. We've already got the stuff in bottles, and we'll be releasing a whole bunch of new wines. Some really cool stuff here coming up later this year. And by the way, if you're interested in the Effenberger Wine Club, go to effenbergervineyards.com. You can sign up online. We'd love to have you. And you're going to get some wines that we don't release to the general public. Some really small lot stuff that I make that, quite frankly, we share with a few wine club members, and then the rest of it we drink. Well, that does it for this edition of What's Happening at Effenberger Vineyards, where we make effing good wine. We'll catch you next time.